evening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Bowden, and this is Falls Creek Flips, and we are doing a What Sold Sunday. I really appreciate you guys watching the videos, and if you aren't subscribed, can you please hit that button down below? Really appreciate your support. If you aren't following me on Instagram, I am under Falls Creek Flips on Instagram, same as on Facebook and on eBay, so have a little bit of a look. Now, this week has been pretty good, but we've made some mistakes, and I think just with how busy things have been and trying to balance family, sick kids, the business as it's growing, work, everything is just kind of pretty full on. So I'm going to talk through some of the mistakes that I've made as we go through the sales here today, but I'm doing that so that you guys understand that it's not all, sunshine and roses, that we do make mistakes, and it's important to be aware of that and do what we can to fix that. But I will show you what we've sold, and then we will go from there. So this here is what we've sold over the weekend. I'm just trying to get my screen switched around. Doesn't want to for some reason. There we go. All right, now I can see what I'm doing. You'll notice over there, I do have the Formula 1 on, so if I suddenly go to a shortcut, you'll know why that's happened, if there's just a quick cut away and I come back. So, let's start off with some games. All these games have been great sellers. They are all over $30, so I'll just go through them fairly quickly. I got a PS Vita game. That is Soul Sacrifice. That's part of the large Deceased Estate that I had. Same as these Nintendo Switch games. So I've got Xenon Racer here for the Nintendo Switch. I've been able to test all these games, which is great. And then Isle of Man TT Ride on the Edge too. So all great games. I then came across a stack of PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games this the last week. In an op shop, $5 each. So Need for Speed High Stakes has gone out. Very fun game. I played that a lot when I was younger. That's a cheap DVD, so I don't care. Futurama has gone out for $40, so great find if you can get it. Sea Patrol 3, love finding cheap sets or cheap series out there. And then Harry Potter 1 to 4 isn't actually a sale, that can go away. That thing doesn't work. It's just been caught up with some other stuff. So yeah, quite a good number of sales there in the games. We then have this Brumbies 2012 members hat. It's the Cougar labelled hat, so not a bad little hat to pick up, and that has sold relatively well. So first failure here is this little guy here. You'll notice the old Telecom logo there. So this is a vintage Telecom Kookaburra, and was great when I put him into the box, but you can see that someone's got into it. So sadly, he got devoured. Now, I messaged the buyer. I refunded them straight away as soon as I found this. I just took my took it on the chin that I'd made the mistake of putting him in an open box rather than a sealed box. Refunded them. But they said they were still interested in it. They took it for $20 instead of $35. And so he's going out to them. Look, as much as you can make a mistake of not sealing something, it is always good to check with your buyer, because sometimes they are quite happy to still take something even if it's in not great condition. Sometimes it is more for the nostalgia than for anything else. So great example there. Get Smart, the complete series. Great sale there. So I picked that up from local op shop. They are not they're not a not-for-profit, essentially. They are a business op shop, so I guess a store, but fantastic people. They hold stuff for me and Greg. We go past there once or twice a week, and they've always got some good stuff for us. We pay the price they're asking. In this case, I think it was $20 for this guy, sold for $150. So really cool. I'm very happy with that. Next failure, Pops. I've actually had two failures. So the first failure is a big one, and that was this guy here was supposed to go overseas, and I accidentally packed something that was supposed to go to the guy that bought Bob Ross here. So I spoke with the guy from overseas, and I said, look, keep the one that you've got. I'm going to send this guy to you. So he's going out. He's not going on my sales list. He'll go separately. But the guy who bought Bob Ross and the one that the other guy got ended up taking... He bought this guy at full price as well, and I threw Full Killer in, which was a more expensive one as well. So he's taken those three there. So, look, the best thing I can say is just be upfront, be honest with your customers. They understand you're not like a big company or anything like that. You're literally just doing what you can. So always be honest with them, and normally you're going to get a good response. Not always, but normally you'll get a good response. While we're talking about sending out the wrong stuff, here is a Puma QBE Sydney Swans hat. And I accidentally sent, through Depop, someone the wrong hat. So I sent them a trucker style hat of this one. And so they messaged me and said, hey, you've sent me the wrong one. I said, look, my bad. I made the mistake. I'll take the hit if I've made the mistake. Always have, always do. Do the same thing in business. If I make a mistake, I own up to it and I take the responsibility of it. It's always best to do that. If you own up straight away, take responsibility, it's always going to work out better for you. Maybe not always brilliant, but it's always going to work out better for you. If you try and hide stuff, try and make stuff go away, you're always going to come up with more issues. So, took responsibility straight away, said, yep, my fault. I'm going to get this out to you. So that's going out to the guy at my expense. I then have here, this is a sale on Depop. This is the only one. It's a vintage Callaway golf shirt. So nice little sale there. And then this one sold within about an hour of listing it. And can I say, guys, this is a Nike Socceroos jersey. If you guys have any soccer stuff, get it listed now, especially international stuff, not so much like club soccer. But get this stuff listed now, because World Cup starts in a couple of weeks and this stuff is going to fly out the doors. In saying that as well, we do have Champions League on at the moment. So UEFA Champions League, have a look at what teams are in the Champions League. Because if you've got any stock of the teams like Tottenham or any of the other teams, you can probably sell some of that stuff for good money and get it out the door quickly. So just a little point of being aware there, guys. We then have over here, this is a little Quicksilver Toddlers button-up shirt, so size 4, brand new with tags. We've sold that. I actually had my son, my eldest Noah, sitting on my lap when this offer came in, and I said, dude, do we want to sell this? He's like, yeah, let's sell it. So he hit the accept offer button, and he was pretty stoked to get to sell something to a buyer, so that was pretty cool. This was a freebie from my best mate, Dan. So this is a Honda 50 Years in Australia t-shirt. So it's got the big Honda spell out on the back and just the 50 Years in Australia tee. Obviously someone wanted that. And then last but not least, we have here the Harley Davidson. You'll see it's on, it's a nice little tag there. The Beefy, Haynes Beefy with our little holographic strip there. Nice little piece. And on the back, we've got the big old Farthest North Outpost, Fairbanks, Alaska. That is the most northern Harley Davidson motorcycle store, I believe, is at Fairbanks, Alaska. So that's a 2009. But yeah, really, really cool. So we've had some good sales there, guys. We've made a couple of mistakes, and it's important to recognize in any situation that you will make mistakes, that you will make errors, and like the best thing you can do is cop it on the chin, is to accept that it's your fault. The hard thing to accept sometimes is when people don't read, when people get their measurements wrong and they then want a refund, they want to return something. You want to know what, this week's been pretty heavy for that. I've copped 3 returns this week of people just saying stuff was the wrong size or they didn't like it and that sort of thing. But in my store, I have free returns on, and realistically, it's easier for me to just refund them, get the goods back or not get it back. Like if I write it off, that's okay. It's not going to be the end of the world. It keeps the customer happy, it keeps eBay happy, and it keeps things moving along. I haven't had any slowdown in sales because of returns or anything like that, refund requests, where before I've had that. So I've learnt realistically, you're better off just copping it on the chin and moving on in that instance, than trying to fight it and be like, how can they do this? This is terrible. Because ultimately it's just going to eat you up. Just go, all right, made a mistake, whatever, let's move on. The next sale's going to be around the corner. You know, it's the same thing with people making offers. You accept it and then they don't pay, or you make them an offer, they accept it and they don't pay. There's no use sitting here begrudging that person. It is what it is. Just cancel their order, hit them with the strike of non-payment and move on. You can set up in your system, you can set up on your account to not be able to allow anyone who's had two strikes against them to be able to make offers for you. So there's ways that you can get around it. There's ways that you can protect yourself. But ultimately, guys, it just, you know, it's about, you know, moving stock and looking after your customers. So that's what we've sold. It looks like a nice big bundle now. We will get it all packed up and sent out shortly while I watch the Formula One over there. I'm not going to show it to you because I don't want to get, you know, any kind of copyright strike or anything. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate your support. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, be involved. Follow me as I continue along this journey. It's a long journey, but we are continuing along it, and I really, really appreciate your support. But stay tuned. We'll put the figures, the facts and figures here in a second. But otherwise, guys, you have yourself a great week. Stay safe and just keep flipping.
Okay, guys, so here are the figures for the week. Total sales were $668.90. That has cost of goods at $45. Now, we had quite a few consignment items there. I'll just go through what the consignment items were. So we had Soul Sacrifice on the PS Vita, the vintage Callaway shirt. We had the Nike Dry Fit Socceroos licensed jersey, Xenon Racing for the Switch. We had the Cougar ACT Brumbies hat. We had the Harley Davidson Fairbanks Alaska shirt, and we had the TT Isle of Man game for the Switch as well. So quite a few consignment items. Our fees and freight come to $216.34. So our net return is $407.56. Now, our consignment fees are $133.60. So ultimately that will come off that $407.56, just so you guys are aware. So ultimately about $207 over the weekend. So it is still definitely worth my while to continue with consignments. It is something I always consider, is, are consignments actually viable to continue? And I truly believe they are, based on that sort of numbers. Like, you do lose a little bit, but ultimately, so long as your consignees are giving you good items and they move quickly, like those games, etc., then you're good. Our ASP as well is $39.16, so we're still sticking around that 40%, with really good margins in there with our returns, etc. So super happy, guys. Thank you again so much for watching. If you have any questions, if you've got any anything you need assistance with, feel free to drop me a line either here or Instagram. Always happy to help out. Otherwise, guys, stay safe. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time here on Falls Creek Flips.